What's going on, YouTube? Thomas L here. Opening this week is a little indie film titled Unlovable. Now, the movie stars Jamie Dornan, Gemma Kirk, Jennifer Grey, and it also features the comedy legend Billy Crystal. Now, Billy Crystal has been in the film business for years, and of course, he's one of the most funniest guys ever. Of course, he hosts the Oscars a couple of times. He's awesome. And too bad they haven't got him to host this year's Oscars. But anyway, that's another topic for another time. Yeah. But I decided to do my top 10 favorite Billy Crystal movies because he's been in a lot of stuff. So that being said, here's my list. Coming in at number 10 is a film called Mr. Saturday Night. Now, this was a movie that Billy Crystal directed, and it's a really funny gem. I mean, in it, Billy Crystal plays a guy named Buddy Young Jr., who would be coasting happily into retirement alongside his wife, played by Julie Warner. And so instead, he is Blowhard, who eliminates his brother, played by David Paymer, and everyone pretty much sees who fails to bout his Billy, and so his agent, played by Helen Hunt, has possession Ellie Buddy for a movie role, but his last chance might come back to bite him one last time. It's a classic. To be honest, I haven't seen this movie for a while, but I remember really enjoying it when I first saw it as a kid. It's a really funny film, and Billy Crystal was good. Helen Hunt was pretty good. I mean, if you guys haven't had a chance to check out Mr. Saturday Night, I say give it a go. I think you'll enjoy it. All right, coming in at number 9 will be Parental Guidance. Now, this is a film that starred Billy Crystal and Bette Midler, who pretty much gets you to see their child, played by Marissa Tomei, and she, of course, their surprise. Marissa Tomei's character and her husband, played by Tom Everett Scott, acts as Billy Crystal and Bette Midler's character to watch their children so they could, embark on a trip. And I gotta say, the chemistry with Billy Crystal and Bette Midler and the kids really sells this movie. It's actually really funny. I mean, it's really lighthearted. Crystal was good. Marissa Tomei was great. The kids was pretty decent. We even had a funny cameo by Tony Hawk. Really funny film. I mean, sadly, the movie didn't get all that great reviews when it got released. I mean, I think it has like a 17% on Rotten Tomatoes. It's actually much better than the critics may actually be. It's not going to be a film for everyone, but it's actually a really funny little film. All right, coming in at number 8 will be Father's Day. Now, this is a comedy that got released in the early 90s, and it starred Billy Crystal with the late, great Robert Williams. This is kind of more of a guilty pleasure of mine. It's actually a really good little film. Besides Billy Crystal, you also had Natasha Kinski in this. Julie Louis-Dreyfus was in this film. I mean, of course, it had good chemistry with Robert Williams and Billy Crystal. Their chemistry worked out pretty well. And the movie was also directed by Ivan Reitman, who, of course, directed stuff like Ghostbusters, Kindergarten Cop, Twins. That guy's awesome when it comes to directing. And in it, Billy Crystal plays a lawyer with a loving wife, played by Dreyfus, and Dale, played by Robert Williams, is pretty much pretty much has a starred career as an artist. And the only thing that both that they have in common is Colette, played by Kingsley, with whom they both had an affair with years ago. So the two men also find out that they had like a son that they never know about, and he's like missing. So they pretty much embark on a trip to find their son. It's really it's a funny gem. I mean, if you guys haven't had a chance to check out Father's Day. It's a really funny film worth checking out. And the best part about this movie has got to be the chemistry with Robert Williams and Billy Crystal. Their chemistry worked out really well here. All right, coming in at number 7 is Troll Mama from the Train. Now, this is the film that starred Billy Crystal and Danny DeVito, as well as Ed Ramsey. You had Kate Mulgrew, who's of course on Orange is the New Black, and in it, Billy Crystal plays a author with a cruel wife, played by Kate Mulgrew, who teaches a writing workshop where Owen, played by Danny DeVito, is actually one of his students. So they're Danny DeVito's character is like fed up with his mother, played by Anne Ramsey. So one moment, Danny DeVito's own character watches like a Hitchcock classic that seems to pretty much mirror his own life. So he pretty much plots a scheme to, let's say, kill his own mother. This is a comic classic. I mean, Danny DeVito was really good. It was directed by Danny DeVito too, if I'm not mistaken. I mean, Anne Ramsey, I thought she was hysterical in this movie. Yeah, this here is an 80s comic classic. If you guys haven't checked out Troll Mama from the Train, do yourself a favor. If it's on like Netflix, if it's on Google Play or wherever you can watch it, check it out. It's a really funny film. Coming in at number 6 is City Slickers. Now, this here had a good cast. Like, besides Crystal, you had Jack Palance, who actually won his Oscar for this. Daniel Stern was in this. Bruno Kirby. Really good cast. And it's pretty much set in like the West, if you will. City Slickers is a comic classic, And Billy Crystal, Bruno Kirby, and Daniel Stern all really had some good chemistry with one another. Now, they also did a sequel to this, which I admit the sequel is not all that good, but the first film is much better. Yeah, I mean, if you guys want a really funny 90s comedy to watch, check out City Slickers. I think you'll appreciate it. I mean, I don't know if the comedy in this will really work in today's society, but it's definitely a funny gem. All right, coming in at number 5 is Analyze This. Now, this is, of course, the film that was directed by Harold Ramis and starred Robert De Niro. Sorry. And it also starred Billy Crystal. Lisa Kudrow was in this. Analyze This is a hysterical little comedy. Robert De Niro, I thought it worked pretty well with Billy Crystal. I mean, in it, it's pretty much about like a mafia who Don suffers anxiety attacks, which of course forces him to visit a psychiatrist. Pretty much, the mafia is played by Robert De Niro, and the psychiatrist is played by Billy Crystal. And so the mobster is pretty much worried about his reputation when he finds himself bursting into tears for like no apparent reason. So he pretty much seeks the psychiatrist's couch, and of course the forceful and demanding hard man pretty much proves a challenge to the doctor, who of course has several complicated problems of his own. It's a really funny film. Now, Analyze This is a really good one. But Analyze That, that's a different story. Analyze That is horrible. The first Analyze This is a much better film. And Harold Ramis, I mean, R.I.P. Harold Ramis, he did such a good job at directing. I mean, who knew that a movie with Billy Crystal and Robert De Niro could work out so well? It worked out well here. All right. Coming in at number 4 is The Princess Bride. Now, granted, Billy Crystal's role is not that big in this, so that's kind of why it's not higher on my list. But I had to add it as in the top 5 spot. I mean, of course, Billy Crystal plays the Miracle Max, who is a miracle worker, or as you can say, medicine man. And of course, he worked for Prince Hammerdinek's father, who is of course the king. And Billy Crystal, I mean, he was very unrecognizable in this. Like, you would not even tell for a second that was Billy Crystal. And of course, come on, Princess Bride is a classic. You have Cary Elwes, Robin Wright, Andre the Giant. Oh yeah, Fred Savage, of course. Princess Bride is amazing. I mean, directed by Rob Reiner, who of course worked with Billy Crystal before. It's an '80s fantasy classic, and it's amazing. I mean, if you guys never seen The Princess Bride by now, do yourself a favor and watch Princess Bride. Yet again, who haven't seen The Princess Bride? Let's be real there. That's an iconic classic film. Oh, and I should mention Wallace Shawn is in it. I mean, who doesn't love Wallace Shawn, All right, coming in at number 3 is a classic cop movie, and that is Running Scared. Now, this is a cop movie that stars Billy Crystal and Gregory Hines. I mean, this movie is a really hysterical one. I mean, it's not really in my top 10 favorite buddy cop movies, nothing like that. But it's actually still pretty funny. Like, Gregory Hines and Billy Crystal, those two worked out pretty well together. I mean, this movie, of course, has some really funny jokes in it. And I gotta say, too bad they never went ahead and did a sequel to this, because I would have loved to have seen these two work together again, because they were both really good in this film. I mean, the movie got released in 1986, and I think the movie still holds up today. I mean, it's not as funny as, let's say, other buddy cop movies. Like, it's not funny as 48 Hours or Beverly Hills Cop or Lethal Weapon, nothing like that. But it's still pretty good. And it was directed by Peter Hyams, who's a decent director. Oh, and not to mention, you had Jimmy Smits in this. Who doesn't love Jimmy Smits? If you guys never seen Running Scared, this is another 80s flick you should definitely check out. All right, coming in at number 2 is Monsters, Inc. Now, of course, Billy Crystal plays the round green one-eyed monster, Mike Wazowski. I was mispronounced his last name, but anyway. Also, you got John Goodman in this. Monsters, Inc. is definitely one of the best Pixar movies there are. It is funny, it's cute, it's heartfelt. The chemistry between the two lead monsters are amazing. And Billy Crystal as Mike is just a really funny casting. Yeah, I mean, who doesn't love Monsters, Inc.? It's amazing. And Monsters University is actually pretty good, too. But it's not as good as the first Monsters, Inc. Let's be for real there. I mean, Monsters, Inc. That's going to go down as a classic years to come. It's amazing. All right, now, the best Billy Crystal movie of all time. That's a no shocker. My number 1 favorite Billy Crystal movie, that is When Harry Met Sally. I mean, who doesn't love When Harry Met Sally? It's a romantic classic. Of course, that dining scene, I'll have what she's having. I mean, that line is pretty iconic. The orgasm scene, that's an iconic line there. And of course, I mean, the romantic chemistry between Billy Crystal and Meg Ryan is always good. Of course, you had Carrie Fisher. She was in this. And of course, it was directed by the great Rob Reiner, who, of course, did Princess Bride, which also had Billy Crystal in it. I mean, this is definitely probably one of the best romantic comedies there is. It is iconic. It's a classic. I mean, definitely check out When Harry Met Sally. It's a really good one, and like I said, it's a romantic classic. And anyway, that's pretty much it. Let me do the quick rundown. Number 10, Mr. Saturday Night. 9, Parental Guidance. 8, Father's Day. 7, Tro Mama from the Train. 6, City Slickers. 5, Analyze This. 4, The Princess Bride. 3, Running Scared. 2, Monsters Inc. 1, When Harry Met Sally. Now, Billy Crystal has loads of other stuff he done in the past couple years. Let me pull up his credit list. He had a part in that movie, The Comedian, which also had Robert De Niro in it. Of course, he had Analyze That, which, like I said, is horrible. Let's see. How's movie Castle? He had a part in. He was in My Giant, which is not that good of a movie. I mean, he had a part in Cars, America's Sweetheart. He was in with John Cusack. This is Spinal Tap, another Rob Reiner film. He had a part in the movie 61, which was a baseball film. He had a part in the movie Hamlet, Adventures of Rocky and Bullwinkle, which also had De Niro in it. Ugh. Let's see. Yeah, that's pretty much all I could think of. Anyway, let me leave it to you guys. What are some of your favorite Billy Crystal movies? Drop a comment below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that bell for more notifications. This here is Thomas L. signing off.